hairdresser, for instance, and you're doing it in your home or you're doing it on the street and you burn somebody's head, you understand? If you don't have an LLC, they can come at you for your personal asset. But if you have an LLC, they can sue the LLC. And you should have, I'm telling everybody, should have business insurance to cover yourself in case something happens. We want to do everything the cheap and easy way, but I always tell people, what if? Just what if? What if something happened?
Yeah. I mean, generally, thank you for that. And I didn't mean to cut you off there, Daniel. The thing you got to remember is if it feels good right now, it's probably going to cost you later.
Right.
You know, you go eat that real good meal and have the extra dessert and all that. You feeling good and satisfied and all that. But guess what? Your future you is going to be upset because you got to work a little bit harder in the gym and whatnot. And that holds true across all disciplines of life. It seems to be that if you'll dig in now and you'll do the hard work now, it makes life easier in the future. But if right now we want to take the easy route, well, you pay for it in the long run.
Yeah, you write up all your receipts, but you have to, there's categories. So if you need at the end of the sessions that we're doing, I can go over it. You have like 22 deductions that you can take depending on what career or what you're in. But it's categorized. It's called a Schedule C, and the Schedule C is where you write off certain things. You can write off your clothes. Like I write off my makeup because I model sometimes. I write off my gas in my car because I bought my business through my car through my business. So it's a write-off. So a lot of things that you do, you can write it off in your business if you are keeping the records. And I always use credit card to pay for most of my things. And a credit card statement can prove that you did use that for a business expense.
So actually,
I like your question. He's young, guys. And see, that's why we're doing this, because there's a lot of people young coming up behind us that don't understand the ramification. Why you think have so many business? Because guess what? Everything that you do in your business, the IRS says if it's ordinary and necessary for your business to survive, it's a business write-off. You buy a pen, it's a business write-off. You buy a piece of paper, it's a business write-off. You have a meal when you're 300 miles away from your home, it's a business write-off. You go networking, it's a business write-off.
So as long as as long as I got the transactions on my bank statements and my business account.
You don't have to be in business. You can do it in personal too. Because remember, we flip-flop sometimes. The ramification is if you get audited, then you're going to have to explain it, verse it, and prove it. But you can even, like right now, sometimes if you're here and you don't have a receipt, you can write down, I came in here and so you can reenact your receipts, believe it or not. Because if it makes sense, it makes sense. Why would you be on the radio down here if you're not doing something and doing something? You can prove it. You were on Facebook, so you are here. So you can justify, I did this, this, and this. And if it makes sense, it makes sense. If it don't make sense, you come down here and spend $50,000. What did you spend $50,000 on? But if you say you stayed in a hotel, yes, if you're not home, you're going to stay in a hotel. You're going to buy food. You're going to have this. You're going to have that. So certain things are deductible based on your business and expenditure that it fits in.
And you know, that was a little bit of the conversation at dinner the other night, just talking about that, the benefit of owning a business, even regardless if you're able to work your business full time or if you're able to work your business part time while you're getting it started. All of those things provide for those deductions for necessary and normal, ordinary and reasonable expenses for your business. So anything that you need to get that up and going. And those folks who have not ventured into entrepreneurship, they're losing money, but they don't realize it, because as a W-2 employee, you get your gross pay based on what you and your employer agreed on. Then you're going to get all your deductions. So FICA, Social Security, Medicare, federal tax, state tax, whatever deductions you got coming out, and then you're going to get what's left. And then if your deductions and withholding are right, you see Dr. Huie when you file your taxes, and then you know everything is even. But what happens as a business owner is you're able to
get your money first.
You get your money first, all of your money. If you if I charge $100,000 for a consulting engagement, I get the whole $100,000. I'm able to pay my expenses, pay the other consultants, pay the other people that are involved, pay for all the technology and things that we needed to do to run the business for that month or for that year or whatever. And then we're paying tax on what's left. So versus if I made $100,000 as a W-2 employee, I'm gonna take home $60,000. If I make $100,000 as a self-employed person, I'm going to pay tax on what's left.
Right.
So maybe $60,000 gets spent on investment back into my business, then I would pay tax on the $40,000. So, that's the real big difference. And that's why people are always telling people to start a side hustle, start a side business. You don't have to make a ton of money.
You don't have to make no money.
You don't have to make no money for the first 5 years.
You can write off a loss because remember, they say most business fail within the first. You said you saw a bunch of business close down.
Yeah.
Most business within the first 5 years, they have a loss or they shut down. They know that because either you're not educated on how to get the business to the next, you're stagnant, you don't have the capital.
Yes.
Mr. Carr does the capital, you don't have the capital to maintain that business. And when you have it, you're not keeping good records, so you don't know. I was telling my friend as I'm coming, I have so much going out. I'm paying like $8,000-$10,000 a month in bills, and to sustain this business. But at the end of the year, I know why I'm doing it because I know on the other side I do have a W-2, and I know that certain expenses have to be written off for me to break even. So that's how I educate people about taxes and tax liability and saving and putting away money in 401ks and stuff like that. So if you need a session after, I'm right here.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You definitely gonna wanna tap in. She's a great resource, and we're happy to be here with her. So you guys, thank you for tuning in. You're listening to the Wealth Code Unlocked live on ATL Talks on the iHeartRadio app. Make sure you join us. We're here every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern and 3 p.m. Pacific, and we're answering all the questions for you. So make sure you guys continue to DM us, send us messages, reach out with that information because this is here for the community. We want to make sure that our community gets access to the information because, man, there's a lot of money being made in the community, but not a lot of it stays in the community, and people will make a good financial choice and then they'll fumble the bag by doing something small later on. So we're just here to share that information. So if you guys need to tap in with Carr Consulting, you can reach us online at carconsulting.us, CARRCONSULTING.US, and we'll be happy to connect with you. You can search Carr Consulting on any of your social media platforms, and you can always call or text the office 470-748-4045. Okay, so it's the end of the tax season, so we're getting you ready for the next. It's almost on. It's almost three. It's only 3 months away. Believe me, October, November, December. So we're trying to help you about what's triggering audits. What's triggering audits? That's good information. Be careful
because people don't realize the IRS is an algorithm. So this year you can get audited just by putting one number wrong.
Really?
Yes. You can get audited just by putting some number wrong. And if this year you said you made 50,000 and next year you say you made 250,000, that could trigger audit. Having high income and large tax liability, like if you said you made 100,000, you write off $99,999. Sometimes that could trigger audit by the IRS people. So be very careful, especially if you make over $500,000 to $1 million. You will probably in higher rate of being audited because what they looked at before, people that was in a low income, they used to audit them more. They used to audit the middle class more.
So strange to me.
I know, right?
Like, what are you gonna get if you find this guy who
4,000?
Interesting.
Okay, so unreported and misreported income. Sometimes I know some clients I've had before, they'll have or work 2 or 3 jobs and they'll use 2 of the W-2s and don't use the next one. Oh, I'll wait till next year because they need their money now. That can trigger an audit. I've seen that before when you come back later. Can you amend my taxes? I just filed my income tax. Of course, but you won't pay me again twice.
Yeah.
Right. So do it right the first time because if you go on idme.gov, irs.gov, they have your last 10 years, believe it or not, of all the wages that you made.
Last 10 years.
10 years.
You ain't fooling nobody. By changing these little numbers and whatnot.
Right. Because they sent it to
the first time.
By law, you have to have it in by January 31st of the previous year. So all the 1099s, W-2s have to be in by January 31st of next year. So they know because they're sent in.
Yeah, absolutely. They do. So, and so that's, when you talk about the year-end stuff, you talk about the W-2s and those tax documents going out. Yeah. That's the reason why you want to go ahead and outsource the payroll. as if you don't have enough things to do. Like, let us help you with the appropriate payroll solution, so we can get those things out for you. Because, you know, when you think about some of these things, like doing your taxes and running your payroll, processing your payroll, these things are really just liabilities. Like, why would you want that responsibility? If you mess up on the taxes, guess what? Uncle Sam's gonna need his with interest that accrues daily.
Compounded
daily. Compounded. Let's not forget that. Compounded. You know, that's the, you know, compound interest is I mean, that's the beast. Yeah, absolutely. It can help you if it's in your savings plan, but it hurts you when it's on the other side. So let's be conscious of those things for sure.
Because when they can't get your money, you know what's the next option? They put a lien on you, and then after the lien, then they put a levy on you. So I had a client open up his ID.me yesterday, irs.gov, and it says you may have a levy or a lien. Get them taxes done.
Yes.
If you owe them $100, $5,000, $10,000, you can't make the payments that you set up because you have to agree to it for the next 5 years. Pay at least $50 every paycheck or $50 a month. Because guess what? Everything stays in their database. And if you don't do something or file your taxes, it doesn't go away. You cannot do that 10-year, let me get rid of it if you didn't do the first initial. And they can come back from you forever, indefinitely. People say, oh, it's only 10 years. That's not true. The IRS can come back for you for not doing your taxes or not paying taxes or over claiming or under reporting indefinitely. It's not a 10 years, it's indefinitely.
No, and the thing that like we were talking about a lot of things on the show. Like one of the subjects that came up, I think last week, we talked about bankruptcy and the tool of bankruptcy. But here's one thing that you guys got to know: when it comes down to the feds, that don't matter at all. That tax debt don't go nowhere, player. It's not going nowhere. So you got to work that out with the IRS. That stuff does not go away. So yeah, jump on it. But like Dr. Huie said, most of the time you can work it out and get a payment plan. They're pretty flexible when it comes down to that. They just want you to pay that money and get that stuff going. So you know, I've been seeing a lot of stuff lately about the Caribbean and Africa and just how everything is growing. And you know, so let's go global for a minute. So let's think about some of these big opportunities. And some of the biggest opportunities for investment, especially when it comes down to real estate and some of those long-term investments, they're not here in the United States. Some of those opportunities are in Africa and in the Caribbean and South America. Did you know the population of Africa just passed 1.47 billion people?
Oh, wow.
Can you believe that? And by 2050, it's expected to double. So that's a young, growing market. So there's going to be tons of people. I want to say, like, by the year 2050, I think maybe like 30% of the people who are under 35 in the whole world are going to be in Africa. So it's a huge market. So it's a young market with demand for housing, energy, infrastructure, and Africa holds roughly 30% of the world's mineral resources. So cobalt, gold, copper, lithium, and the stuff that powers our phones. And, you know, in the Caribbean, too, they're expanding beyond tourism into tech and agriculture. And a lot of the islands are offering investment, citizenship, and diaspora bonds. So those who have not heard of that, so investment citizenship is if you make an investment into the country, you get a passport from that country. You're a dual citizen. So if you buy a piece of real estate or you make an investment of a certain amount or put in a certain amount of money, you have another passport for that country. You can have dual citizenship, which I don't know. Never know how things could play out. It's good to have options. If you want to make a move, you can make a move. So
yeah, but be careful when you go into those small countries, especially if you don't know anybody. You know, sometimes they set you up for bigger and better things. Because I'm from a small country, so I know, and you know, some of the things that happen. Be careful who you trust. Like we talk about trust. So be careful what you listen to and who you listen to, because remember, everything that glitters not gold.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely takes collaboration. You're definitely going to have to partner with some folks who are local. They're on the ground. When you're investing in another country, especially, get local legal counsel. Don't talk to your attorney from Atlanta.
Nope.
He ain't going to be able to help you in Uganda. The laws are different. Things are going to work out different. So get some local counsel to help you. But you know, there's some good ways to do it and some safe ways to do it. But when you invest abroad responsibly, you create jobs and build wealth for both sides of the ocean. But you know, as you just said, Dr. Huie, it's very important you do your due diligence, work with local partners, watch the currency risk, and of course keep records for those tax purposes. You know, the wealth code isn't about location, it's about leverage. And Africa and the Caribbean are calling. There's a lot of great things going on over there. So just want to put that out there. There's some good opportunities. So I would encourage you guys to explore that, especially when you think about real estate and things like that. I was in the DR about 2 years ago. I have some good friends who have some real estate projects going down there. And I guess, well, at that point, it was like 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, your own personal swimming pool, gated community, all the rest at like 175,000 US. Yeah, and that was like and I think it still is the number one vacation destination.
Where?
The Dominican Republic in the Caribbean. Jamaica passed it?
Jamaica been passed it.
I don't know. You might have to. Somebody please fact check it. Let's fact check it.
So what type of market is it out there?
Well, you know, it's a lot of tourism, as you can imagine. All these tropical islands are very beautiful. So, because one thing that I think maybe some folks in America, depending on your family background, they're not used to having family in other parts of the country, or other parts of the world. Right. And so, you know, sometimes for the family to meet up in the Caribbean, if you have U.S. citizens and people who are citizens in South America, the Caribbean, they can get visas. Everybody can go there and link up. Whereas if everybody wanted to come over here, you know, when you're dealing with some of those smaller countries, it could take years to get a visa if they ever even give it to you, you know. So that's it's a big tourism thing. So a lot of families will use that as a central point to link up. But yeah, that's the main driver, the tourist economy. But you're seeing some of these islands get into some of the other areas that are expanding a little bit more, you know, getting into the tech side and things of that nature. But yeah, absolutely.
So what may be in particular that'll be good out there is maybe like water parks, or like, you know, a lot of things that's going to attract people, or people will love to see when they visit.
You know, I mean, obviously, the entertainment, people pay a lot of money to be entertained. So, you know, if that's in your purview, obviously, there's some great opportunities there. But you know, just the family vacation aspect of it, and if you're buying real estate, if you're buying the real estate, no matter what you're doing, you win in the long run. You know, as long as you can afford to hold on to that real estate and keep it, because good Lord's not making any more dirt. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. And you know, it's not about location, it's about leverage. So we gotta look at where those opportunities are. And sometimes the opportunities that are right here locally, and sometimes right in front of us, sometimes those get saturated, and you know, people hear about them, and sometimes we gotta look a little bit further. So sales prospecting and repetition. So I say it comes down to discipline over motivation, you know. And so, you know, when you're thinking about prospecting, we all have to reach out to customers and do something to make the phone ring and keep people in front of us. But the key is having that discipline to stick with it. You know, you can have automation and AI and all that good stuff, but none of it matters if you don't know how to sell. And, you know, in banking, a lot of times, you know, we'll have deals, and I didn't win the deal always because I was slick, or, you know, because I had the best talk off. I won because I followed up, and most of the other people quit and they gave up. But I'm diligent. I'm gonna hang in there. And so, you know, when you guys are out here and you're building your business, just remember, you got to be dedicated to the repetition. None of this stuff is going to be easy. But if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it. And everything that's worth it is definitely not easy. So, you know, so that structure definitely protects your freedom, and you can't wing wealth. You know, wealth, it comes down to discipline. And, you know, you had something to add in there?
Yes, sir. I want to piggyback on you.
Okay.
When it comes to businesses, the easiest way I can put it is not to too much put your emotions involved with it.
Ooh,
because
ooh, he went there.
Man, it's just like life, you know. You gotta endure with, you know, what comes with what you signed up for, you know,
Sure.
the good and the bad. So, with that understanding, you'll be able to maneuver, you know, to the best that you can.
That's a really good point, because when you talk about going to get business, you know, people think about the time that it takes to go get it. They might think about the budget to recruit that person. They think about the information they need to have, but a lot of times they don't take into account that emotional investment.
Yes.
When you become emotionally invested in anything, it becomes infinitely harder to make a wise decision, because it's a heavy investment. When you're emotionally tied to something, it's not so easy just to walk away from it. So you're right. You have to be careful with that in business that's why they say it's strictly business. Business is never personal. You got to work hard to keep it that way, because once you become emotionally invested, logical decisions become a little bit more difficult to make.
Yeah.
So a little bit earlier, oh, I'm sorry.
I was going to ask him what wealth means to him, because we always talk about what wealth means to us. What does wealth mean to you, and what was your aha moment?
Well, I could say wealth is first being health, how your mental right.
Yeah.
Because wealth only, you know, you'll be only see it. The only way to see it is to, you know, take care of your inner self first. Get your spirit right, get everything right, and then it'll reflect outward. You know, wealth is pretty much financially free, and leaving a legacy financially as well.
What's one good advice somebody gave you that you applied to your business?
I could say, let me see.
Because you're young, so we want to know, like, what made you say, okay, I want to start the business, and who planted that seed? Because being a business owner is hard. Like,
Sure enough.
it's hard.
Well, because it wasn't too many words driven. Well, that made my drive, you feel me, for the business to prevail. But just saying, I just was dedicated, honestly. It was a lot of tunnel vision. A lot of tunnel vision. Not too many outer sources, especially in particular with my business, like real estate, just goes on the property, things like that. I reached out to myself, and it wasn't too many, like, you know, people coming at me telling me like, yeah, this is that, this is that. But definitely everything is a blessing. I want to just say, like, yeah, just being dedicated really for me.
So dedication is the key.
Yes.
And you know what? To piggyback off of what you say and what you do, people, you always see the cars and the homes and everything that some of the business owners have, but y'all didn't see the grind behind it. So when you see a business owner, and I'm speaking from my experience, I don't know why this came to my heart or whatever. Don't be jealous. If you're not in the hustle and you don't want to do the hustle, I've given a lot of people chance to be beside me and behind me and in front of me, and they don't do it, but then they'll sit down and say, oh, she got this and she drive this and she looked that way. And y'all don't see the grind. Like AC, the money guy, say it takes 20 years to become an overnight success.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been grinding. So heed it when you see them out there trying, because it takes 10 no before you get one yes. And
True.
Imagine, like he's talking about emotional, make sure that part is right. Like I tell AC, I go to the gym, I go to church, I go to a therapist, I do it. Because imagine if you're trying to get this business out and you hear no, 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 and one yes. That could really, you're right. Mental health and being grounded is really, really the crap.
It is.
It comes with
right.
For the business, you know?
Right.
That's what comes with.
Well, to the point that both of you all are making, you know, people like to see, they see the success. They see when you get on the other side of that.
Right.
They didn't see the 20 years that it took, you know, the education, the trials and the tribulations, the ups and the downs to get there. They see that part of it. So, you know, I think it was important what Daniel said, just that mental health check-in, because you know, it could get lonely. You're out there on the island. What? You're out there building a business. You're by yourself. You're not necessarily having people working with you every day. Sometimes it could get kind of lonely. And yeah, it's very important to make sure you check in with that. And, you know, while we're on the subject, I mean, this is why we're hammering home that point about business owners knowing what their business is worth. Because can you imagine that? You go through all of that, 20 years to be an overnight success. So people finally know your name. You're putting in work. You've been putting in work. Now finally you're booming, you're moving. And so you're enjoying that level of success. And then you're ready to retire and all of that just goes away. Wow. I mean, that's, you know, that's something that us business owners, I mean, you guys got to really think about this because the kids don't always want to take over your business. And if you don't have your business that's exit ready, if an investor can't easily step in and purchase your business and put someone in place and you have solid systems, that's why these businesses go away, because they don't go see Dr. Huie. They don't go see a tax professional to make sure that their books are in order.
Right.
They're the one who's in charge of everything. Nothing moves if they're not in the office. And, you know, so instead of owning a business, they own a job. And guess what? The only thing worse than owning a job is buying one. And guess what? The investors are not lining up to do that. So it's just very important that we take care of that. So you want to build a bankable, scalable business, thinking about the exit from day one. Because if you're planning for the exit from day one, it's easier to make those decisions because you know that, hey, when I reach this number, you know, I want to exit, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. So then you can make those decisions. But yeah, because most of these business owners, they're just solopreneurs and they never built the business to run without them. No clean books, no systems, no team. And when you build a business like that, it does not become an asset. It becomes a liability. But when you build your business like an asset, you get paid twice. Once while you're running it, and then once when you sell it. So boom.
That's the number one thing also for you to get an audit is not having your books in straight. And I see a lot of business owners to have a bookkeeper like AC have, or have the payroll services.
Yes.
It's cost $200 to $300 a month. You come to me and you're giving me papers, wasting my time, and I'm charging you what you should have did in the beginning. Because the last client that came, I charged him almost $2,500 to $3,000 just to do his taxes because I had to get his paperwork in order. Plus, it took 5, 6, 7 days when you could be making money. Get a bookkeeper. Stop being cheap. If you want your business to go up and your business to do right, that's why you have people in place. That's why I exist. That's why AC exists. That's why you exist. Stop trying to pinch penny and do this. Because if you have system, then you don't have to be the one. Oh, I made 5,000. Let me minus 3. You can bring everything and give it to somebody.
Sure.
And you could be figuring how I'm going to make another 3, 4, 5, $250 a month and for bookkeeping, and then you sit down at the end of the year paying me $5,000 because you didn't do $250 in the beginning.
Yeah.
So get your books in order.
Get your books in order.
Get you a payroll person.
Please.
Get you a bookkeeper.
Please.
You know. I'm sorry. I'm glad you highlighted the financial aspect because whether in Chicago, I can only speak from
experience.
That's just what it be. The deal breaker, the money, the downside of things, and for her to illustrate how you lose and more.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
When you doing, you know,
big time, man. Because you know, I like to refer to it as jumping over dollars to chase pennies.
Right.
Because you in their mind, sometimes people feel like, oh, well, I'm saving money by not having a bookkeeper. So I'm going to put all these receipts in the trash bag, not thinking I'm going to have to pay for Dr. Huie by the hour to go ahead and sort through all the rest of this.
Right.
When I could have just paid a couple $100 a month for payroll. Right. And then here's the other side of that too. Mm-hmm. You think about you saving money by doing some of these services yourself, but you have to think about what's your best and highest purpose. Mm-hmm. So you're running your business as a business owner. You probably have some specialized skills that would cause your earning rate to be significantly higher. Like the average number I think I hear from a business owner, I say, what do you think your time is worth? Most of them say give me a number somewhere around $200 an hour.
Yeah.
So let's talk about $200 an hour. So and we'll use a task like payroll, for example. So if you're running a weekly payroll and you take 2 hours every single week to run the payroll, let's call it 2.5 hours. That's 10 hours a month.
Right.
So that's $200. That's $2,000.
Right.
You could have outsourced that for $200.
Right.
What are we doing? You could have went and spent that time bringing on your next client.
Right.
It's something else, something better to do with that. So it's okay to have support system. It's okay. That's why the IRS allows us to deduct these things,
Right,
because you need it. And don't, have a good team. Have people watching your back. You're an expert at whatever it is you do. Hire the experts in their space to protect you and make sure that you're in good shape.
Yeah, that's a good time. When the crunch season, when taxes from January to March, April, May, June, I don't wash my clothes. People say, you don't wash your clothes? No.
What you do?
No, I tell them, okay, I got to pack up my clothes. I got to go downstairs. Think about it now. I got to unpack and sort them yellow, whites, black, Then I got to put it in the washing machine. Then I got to turn around and put it in the dryer. Then I got to turn around and bring it up. That's 2-3 hours of my time. I could be sitting down making $500-$600 an hour. So like you're saying, I'll source certain things. Sunday before I go to church, I bring the bag, bring it to the wash house. They wash it. Folded up what took me less than half an hour.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, get systems in place and stop being cheap, because that 2-3 hours, I'll be grinding from January through June. So why not let somebody else get a piece? You cannot take all the money to your grave with you.
It's called currency because it's designed to move.
It's moving.
It's just like electrical current. When the light switch is off and that current is not moving, guess what? The light is black.
Right.
You turn that on, you let the current flow. Guess what? There's energy, there's power.
Right.
And it's the same thing with currency in our pocket. It's not meant to just sit in your pocket. It's called currency because it's supposed to move around, because it creates movement. Because when you take your money and you spent that money at the wash house, and then they have money now to go spend somewhere else. Maybe their kid goes to the school that somebody else runs, and it all goes around. It one hand washes the other, as they say. It takes a community. So
that made me think about my bad. That made me think about back then once I realized what money was. You feel me? It was a point in time, not gonna lie. It was glorified to a certain extent, where the value of money was overvalued over a lot of things. But later down the line, I realized that money is just a tool.
That's a tool.
That's it.
Use it.
It's a tool.
So you feel me? I guess get more money and do things with it. It's not for us to
hold
on to. Yeah, exactly. And that's a beautiful point. And we can see that illustrated throughout nature. When water becomes stagnant, the water becomes poisonous. There's no life. There's nothing living in it. For example, that's the Dead Sea. The reason why it's called the Dead Sea, it has no outlet, so the current cannot continue to push. Everything dies. There's no fish. There's no nothing in there. So we gotta keep things moving. Like that's how it was designed to be. You're not designed to hoard stuff. You know what I'm saying? You show love, give back, all of that good stuff, man. Like if your goal in making $1 million or $10 million or $100 million, whatever the goal is, just to log onto your computer screen and see a bunch of commas and zeros, why even waste your time?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like make a difference in the world, and do something that matters. Do something that matters.
And I tell people, you can always make money, but that time you spend, you can never get it back.
No.
Every second that you waste and do something with it, you can never get it back.
That opportunity cost, right?
That opportunity cost is either your time or your money.
Sure.
$250, that's $25. Like,
it's your time is, you get to, I think we all hopefully get to a point where we realize that like your time is very valuable. Yes.
With your kids. Like one Sunday, he said, Sunday, I don't talk to nobody. I'm with my family.
I try my best. I go hard the rest of the week, but I try to sit it down. You got to recharge, and you can't, like we're talking about, you can't get too caught up with money. You have to have a balanced life, because guess what? If you grinding all day long, your family don't see you. You're not putting in time with your children. Your spouse, your partner, they're not, they're not getting what they need. Your life is not going to be good. I don't care how much is in the bank account. It's not going to work out well for you. A balanced life is definitely the key. Definitely the key. So let's recap real quick. So let's remember, we got to control what we can control. Invest in your skills. You see something changing and it looks like your job might be on the chopping block. Don't wait till you lose your job. Don't wait until they call you and everything is shut down. Retrain. Look at opportunities to improve what you have going on. If you're answering the phone now, learn how to operate the phone system. If you're making sales calls, learn about that CRM system. If you're out there, you're doing a job that could be replaced by a robot, learn how to
bake cookies.
Bake cookies, feed the robot information, maintain the robot. I mean, but you let's stay in front of it. Let's be proactive. Like, I think as time goes on, the time for being reactive is gone, man. If you just sit back and you wait till something happens to try to move, it's gonna be a long go for you, man.
All of us, we are all designed to fulfill something.
Yes.
You feel me? And the 9 to 5 is nothing but systematic things that pretty much hold us down.
Yeah.
So while us being in the midst of 9 to 5 working for the next person, we could be out fulfilling what we need to fulfill on this earth, which is make generation wealth for your children's kids.
Okay, so how can someone get in touch with you? Can you tell me your name again?
Oh yeah, definitely. Daniel. My phone number 312-532-7763. Business Gmail. Business Facebook. I'm sorry, Instagram. Daniel. I'm sorry, Daniel Jones. Carr Consulting.
Absolutely. You can always call the office to the Carr Consulting office, or if you need to book an appointment with Daniel, go to carconsulting.us, schedule that appointment. Just put in the comments that you need to speak to Mr. Jones. We'll make sure that he gets in touch with you. You can reach the office at 470-748-4045 and on Carr Consulting on all the social media platforms. And Dr. Huie, if they're sitting here and they're cringing because they know they missed the deadline and they need help, and it's almost that time to do it for the regular again. So yeah, so how can they get in touch with you, Dr. Huie?
Call 404-791-8840. And like my sister said, all you gotta do is Google my name. I got over 128 5-star review. I'm one of the best in the business, and I'm studying to get to the next level. And I work with what you call integrity. Yes. I do not shortcut. Like I tell people, these credits, tax credits and refund can get you also audited. And make sure when you have those refunds and people telling you, oh, you can get 10,000, 20,000. Like my friend said, he's a tax attorney. You know damn well last year you got 4. How you gonna get 20 this year? Yeah. But what you say, pay now, play now, you pay later.
Yeah.
And what they said, the feds, when they come to you, they have 99% of the evidence that they need. So guys, it's money. You can make money back. Somebody said, what would you take? He's asking me yesterday. I was doing somebody's taxes. Would you go to prison for 10,000? I said 10,000. Ain't no money. I said if it's not with the other zeros, at least 10 million, and I'm only doing 5 years. No, you understand what I'm saying? No, because guess what? Money just come and go. It just come and go, especially if you're not, tuned into if you're making it, and if you're spending it and what you're doing with it. Money has no, like you said, money has no value. So enjoy yourself. Save your time, take care of you and your family, your mental, your spiritual, and everything else will come.
Because wealth isn't luck. It's leverage, leadership, discipline, and just commitment to doing the hard things, doing those things that don't feel good right now. While everybody else is going out to eat for lunch, you brought your lunch, but you're doing that so you can have a nice vacation or so you can save and fund your retirement. You're not going to buy that new car every single year or every 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody make their own choices, but think about these things because stuff is just stuff. And as soon as you bring it home, I don't care how bad it is. It's the baddest one they ever made. It's the best TV, the best phone, the best car. As soon as you get home, you're going to see a commercial for the next one. So, just be grateful. Don't get caught up in trying to keep up with the Joneses, and just do what's right because, wealth, again, it's not luck. It's leverage and leadership. You guys are listening to the Wealth Code Unlocked live on ATL Talks and streaming on your iHeartRadio app. So follow us online, Facebook, Carr Consulting, Instagram, Carr_Consulting, YouTube. Check us out, Carr Consulting. And for resources and free consults, if you need help starting a business, growing your business, making sure your business is bankable, scalable, and exit ready, give us a call. We'll be happy to help you. 470-748-4045. And once again, before we get up out of here, I do want to remind you guys that we are doing free business valuation snapshots to give people, to let you know what your business is worth, and showing you those KPIs that can drive and improve your business. So
he forgot something this week. What's one thought from one of the books that you're reading? He just talking and forget that we always plug a book, because education is key, and learning and applying what you learn is what's the best. So what's just one tidbit for what you're reading?
One tidbit is systems, because when you put things in a system, you don't have to think about it. It becomes autopilot, and that's really what you need. You need that muscle memory so that things are able to go. You're able to do that. So but thank you. If you feel free to reach out to us. If you want help unlocking the wealth code, reach out to Dr. Huie, reach out to Daniel, reach out to Carr Consulting. We'll be happy to help. And we will see you next Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Until then, build your systems, protect your peace, and walk in abundance. And remember, the wealth code isn't a secret, it's a system.
Okay, and signing off, this is Dr. Huie. And to me, wealth is everything. Is spiritual, emotional, physical, and mental, because when your plate is not balanced, then you feel out of whack. So stay prayed up, look for the bigger picture, spend time with your family. Daniel,
final thoughts.
Final thoughts. God bless y'all. First thing first, definitely stay prayed up, focus on your inner self, as it will reflect outwardly, and just make your priority God, and as well as your inner circle, your mind. Just pay attention to it. Nothing else is pretty much what matters. It's just really your mental. All that's already in on.
Well, thank you for joining us, and make sure you guys tune in next week, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. We're unlocking this wealth code one combination at a time.
Okay, peace.
Yeah, we're good.
It's nice to meet you. So you need any tax help?
Oh yeah, definitely. I will. I know it's almost that time. This will be my first year.
You want taxes? Did you check IRS.gov? How old are you?
20.
How long you been from under your parents? Yeah. You think it's the first year? They already did it for you.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. Then they do. Like if you don't do